everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Gate with Dustman and Nate. I'm Dustman, and with me to bring you another good episode, my dog Nate.
What's up, everybody? Y'all know me here by now, and we're going to be interviewing Garret here.
Hello.
We're going to learn all about his story, everything he's done on and off the bike, and all the magic he does behind the scenes to make Rockford run as smoothly as it does.
Yes, I've known Garret for a long time. He's been here for since probably about I was 5 years old, something like about that, huh?
Yep.
Yes, I mean, he's got a really long story, a really good story, so we'll definitely get you into that.
So, I know a lot of people in the Rockford area know you, but for the people who do not know you, you want to let everyone know who you are, what class you race, stuff like that?
Yeah. So my name is Garret Rapp. I race 36 to 40 expert when I race. Kind of grew up out here at the track, early, mid, late 90s. Stepped into some other things in life that required me to travel full time for years. So I kind of all started, learned about BMX at the Hill in Elgin, and I used to live in Pingree Grove before I moved to Rockford. So, man, like any other BMXer, we've all been hitting the head a lot. So to remember timelines is going to be challenging.
Yeah, unless you're Elijah.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless you're Elijah Davis, he's got the dates down.
I don't know how OD does it. I didn't remember that I sold him his first race bike.
I know, dude. I'm with you. I totally, it's hard. I can remember a lot of stuff, but it's pretty hard.
OD's got the dates
He does. He does.
We all got hit in the head enough to remember a lot of dates.
Yeah.
So I'll try my best in timeline. Someone can cross-reference these and find out if they're true or not. This was probably, I want to say I was 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. Lived in Pingree Grove, went to the Hill, went out to the sports complex. Like any kid, had a neighborhood bike and had my jumps in the sidewalks and switched out bike parts and just fell in love with BMX.
Mm-hmm.
Played all the school sports up until about middle school until I discovered this. And, that's all she wrote. I turned 40 years old now next Saturday.
Congrats.
And
definitely don't look it.
Here we are, all these years later, and I'm back here. The happiest place I've ever known.
I just got on my memories on Facebook when you first came back. It don't feel like too long ago, but when you first came back and you're talking about me ripping, and I raced Mark Melton and George Andrews, and I spanked them. I spanked them both. But he put on my status. He was like, "Dust Jacobs rips, dude," and that was like when he first came back. I think it was like 4 years ago. I think something like that.
Yeah, I came out. So, I did that other thing in life for about 12 years. I toured full time doing that. And, the first thing I wanted to do when I got off the road was, maybe I should go back and explain that. So this was about, 2000. All right, we'll start at the beginning. So BMX, learned about BMX, came out, moved out here in freshman year of high school. Mm-hmm. And first thing I did was, there wasn't Google back then. There was, MapQuest, I think was a thing. So how far are we from Rockford BMX? And we're literally, 5 minutes from here.
Mm-hmm.
So oh my gosh, I'm a local now at Rockford.
Right.
So this was about age 13, 14. To move out here, spend my first summer at Rockford BMX, racing every weekend, volunteered and offered to help, and quickly, got just engulfed with the Saturday afternoon berm packing ritual. Mm-hmm. And I was younger, so I was hanging out with all the old guys and the Mark Melton, Matt Street, and Jake and Dale and the older guys and everybody that I looked up to a lot and learned a lot from. So yeah, I did that. I was a volunteer out here and a rider and this was my entire life, the community out here for the 90s basically. Early 2000s, I turned 16 and I got a car, so I got an easier way to get out here into the pit.
Yep.
And I'd been to the pit a couple times, and before it was public, it was private still. So going to the pit, when it was public, Mike Kaiser had that's when I met Mike. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he was the owner. Mm-hmm. At the time, he was out of town traveling for work a lot. Mm-hmm. So, he came home. He had a wedding, and it was the last minute. I've got a wedding to go to, and I was the only one at the park. We just opened, and he's like, "You got a job, dude?" I'm like, 15. I can't quite drive yet. But, I was getting ready to turn 16. I had a car already. I was getting ready to get my license. So, no, I don't have a job. I need one, and it was a 20-minute, I'm going to show you how to run the register, set the alarm, do everything in the pro shop. I'm going to teach you a mountain of stuff in 20 minutes and then have good luck. And that was my first job. So that happened. I couldn't have gone out of my way to make more of an impact because I wanted to get a job there full time working there. I didn't even care what I got paid. I just wanted, maybe my membership will be free. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So that's where the pit started for me. I turned 16. I had a job. I stayed that weekend until 2 a.m. and I mopped and I swept the whole skate park. I think it was the first time I've been mopped in probably a year or two.
Wow.
And Mike came home and he was, wow, dude, you killed it. Everything was great. And I cleaned and tidied up and the register was balanced and everything was great. And I did all this at 16. Your first job, you're thrown into a role of management. So that was a huge responsibility to me. I took it real serious.
Right.
So that's where the pit started.
Yeah.
The two of these paralleled. The pit, was literally 4 miles that way. So my entire childhood was spent out here racing BMX and riding the skate park after the races. And it was the greatest experience and times I could have had.
Definitely.
When you and I were on a team together, you were 5, I think. Yeah. And, worked at Keggles shortly after. I actually opened Zoomies here. Yeah. Zoomies was a private company, and it hadn't gone public yet. So when Zoomies came to Rockford, back when the pit was open, the pit closed down, and then Zoomies wanted to come to town and open a skate shop. Right. So that's when we opened Zoomies. J-Rod from Rockford Art Deli actually brought me in to help him open the store, and another co-worker of ours. So that turned into another full-time job that was kind of synonymous to the skate culture and the BMX culture. Zoomies was a much different company and had a much different demographic then than it does now. Yeah. And then that went into the pit closed. I moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma to go to broadcasting school. I was there for a year and then moved back. And I had a buddy that asked me to come jam with his band, which I had no interest in doing at all. Right. And we had punk rock shows at the pit. And, most of the time it was cool. It was a cool culture to have shows playing in the background while you're riding your bike, but most of the time you just wanted them to hurry up and finish so you could ride. Right. So that was 2005. And 2005 is when I started playing music. I finally caved. They kept asking me to come jam. I don't know what jamming means. Right. I don't have any interest really in doing that. But it was, we know people that can get us shows, and we know that you did journalism, and we know that you want to, we know you'd want to do this. You gotta come hang out and do it. So I did. I caved. I went once and yelled a bunch of notes into a microphone and sang a bunch, and I didn't want to sing. I had no business being in a band, but I tried it, and it was a lot of fun. So they had a show booked 3 weeks later. And it was basically we're gonna play a show, not a
just come on.
Do you want to come join the band? We'll write some songs and play a show. No, we had a show in 3 weeks. So that's when that started, and years later that we would get signed. Then you would get signed to a major label and we'd travel the world and play Warped Tour. And, I did that for 12 years. So
that's awesome.
That's about 2016. We did 6 records, 3 with Rise Records and 3 with Fearless Concord, major label. And then Mom had a heart attack, had some stuff happen that needed attention and needed home time. Our contract was up, so I stayed here. And the first thing I wanted to do when I got off the road is come back out here. Right. So I came right out the next Sunday, see who's still here, who's still doing this stuff, and I kept in contact with people. Jake and Candy were like second parents to me, so I kept in contact with a lot of people. And first Sunday out here, man, Dustin Jacobs, he's like a grown adult now, and he's shredding everything. And George is still here, and Mark had recently come back, and it's like, no, it's the exact same. Yeah, for sure. Jake and Candy are literally still doing it, So they felt the exact same.
They did.
So I think that's the my best memory of the timeline.
Right.
Fair. So, you've been around the block. You've had a bunch of like stories and stuff. How did the beginning all start? Like, how did all that? Like, what was that like?
So, man, those are some of my best memories of my entire life. So I got on eBay and I bought a whole year of BMX Plus.
Okay.
And like, it was the year I turned expert, and you remember every part, everything that you wish you could afford and couldn't.
Yeah.
Spin rims.
Oh my
you
God.
know, you remember all those parts. So I just bought a whole stack of BMX Pluses to relive that.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And I think that's what a lot of us now approaching 40, in our late 30s, early 40s are doing. We're reliving all those good memories out here.
Yeah, for sure.
And, a lot of these guys, I don't have kids, but a lot of these guys are coming out with their kids now and racing with their kids, so they get to live a second vicarious BMX life through their kid. So it's cool to, we're doing the beginners league out here. You have 50 kids that graduate, and that first race day, you feel like you have 50 kids. It's just the coolest feeling in the world.
Yeah, you pay attention to every single one of them.
Yeah, so I think it was, I turned expert around 17, and our expert class in the 90s was stacked out here. I mean, it was like watching a pro class. You had G-Force, you had Mangler, you had Derek Smiley, you had Jeremy Cott. Yeah, I mean, it was just stacked every weekend. It was a full rack every weekend.
Right.
So that's the age when I turned expert, I think, is when BMX out here was probably at it peaks and it goes away, and it peaks and it goes away, and I think it was back at another peak.
Yeah, for sure.
When I was a kid, the team that I looked up to and idolized was the Kegels team. If you had a Kegels jersey on, you were a factory rider. You would school every racer at a national level that came to your track and raced at Midwest.
Yeah, for sure.
You were, the poo.
Yeah.
So
especially around this track, because Kegels ran this place even my dad, he ran the track or ran Kegels. Dude, we were like undefeated for 5 years, and
you had that jersey on. You were serious.
Yeah, and that was here and in Elkhorn. Yeah.
So that was about the peak in the 90s again. When people that raced Walworth the last couple of years, when we had 50 motos in there, they had no idea that in the 90s we had 110 on a single point.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know those hooks that are on all the walls around the whole building. Jake had those fabricated, spent like $1,200 to make those so we could walk in there.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's something a lot of people don't know is in the 90s, man, there was a full rack for pro every weekend, and there was 100 motos on single point. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember tiptoeing through there with your shoulders like this just to get your bike on a hook, and then you found your spot, you stood.
Yeah, for
until
sure.
Second go round, you finagled your way back to the wall, got your bike down, went back to your spot.
Yeah, it was so packed that people had to sit on the stairs all the way up the stairs. Remember, the stairs were packed. It was the whole thing.
It's cool being in a place now where creatively I can think of things, and I can implement the team, and we can collaborate and come up with unique ideas to bring some of that stuff back.
Yeah.
In a new current day delivery, like when we did the jump demo.
Yeah.
You play that freaking Van Halen song, and you remember every weekend before the mains at Elkhorn, we had pro dirt jumpers that raced. So they did a demo. We had a table built in the last straightaway, or a double, and everybody did like a little dirt jump demo.
Yeah, the place used to get lit.
Oh man, it was the best.
Yeah, dude.
We'd play that Van Halen song.
Yeah.
I love that all those guys that did the dirt jump demo hated that song.
Yeah,
but still got played.
Scott, Schaefer, and Dixon, and they would be transferring from second straight to the third straight,
man.
dude.
And there, Scott Draper, Matt Hall.
Yeah.
Man, there's there were so many shredders back then. And nobody had clips.
Yeah,
and racing
definitely not.
Everybody rode flats. Everybody raced their dirt jumper. So that was there was no. It's weird. BMX now has things are segregated. They're racers and they're freestylers. Back then, you left the racetrack and you went to the skate park, or you went to the trails, or you are BMX from the 90s.
Yeah.
And so are you. And it's awesome because now, you know, you guys are closing the gap between that weird separation that happened somewhere along the lines.
Yeah, right, of course. And that's the thing is like that's one of the things I like that you do is like how we pass, you know, it along to the younger kids. Like just like the kids that were out here. I mean, I think it just started like last month. I think he went through the beginners league or something. But he comes down the trails and rips, you know. And I think passing that along is super cool, and watching you do that for the people in the younger, you know, the beginners league.
Yeah,
Something special. And that's, you know, that's making BMX grow.
Yep.
Like how you said, it's making it peak.
We try to, at Rockford, to lean heavily on positive things. You know, it's the things that we think are the end of the world in the moment are really not. And there's nothing that you'll handle out here that's too heavy to handle. So you have the right team, you can take on whatever problem that'll happen. But we try to always make, you know, the Facebook page, the events, the weekend, try to make it positive.
Yeah.
You know, and I always remember how I felt that first time somebody came up to me and recognized something I did. You know, and you didn't do it for the attention. You did it because it's what you were taught to do.
Yeah.
But the first time somebody recognized that, you felt like $1 million. Like you did it. You did something. You did something that somebody recognized. A lot of kids that come out here don't get that in school, or they don't get that at home. You know, and not all of them. You know, I've seen some of the most supportive parents I've ever seen in my life out here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
My cousin Lindsay, Travis Finnis's mom, that's one of them. I mean, you know, she's one of the most supportive human beings I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Fortunate enough, you know, to be related to her. So it's awesome seeing, you know, all the positive things that happened. Today was one of the most heartwarming things I've ever seen in my life. You know, it's community out here, and you know, it's very unfortunate. Papa Smurf passed away.
Yes.
He was a staple of Rockford BMX, and he touched a lot of people out here. I think today was a reflection of that.
Yeah, everybody came together. Yeah, for sure.
It's unbelievable.
For sure.
definitely.
And yeah, that's definitely another reason why I do love Rockford BMX, because it's a family. You know, it's definitely a staple in BMX family is coming here, and actually say you need something, go out there. You're gonna have it like that. You have 5 of them. You know,
a lot of people are always willing to help out here. It's a great thing.
I noticed very quickly when you guys started this, and it's awesome to see it grow, you know, into what it's growing into. I noticed quickly and how much of you guys bring the community together.
Yeah.
And this is awesome because they're, you know, like that, you know, none of us are getting paid.
Right.
There's no corporate sponsors involved.
Right.
You know, we're doing it because we love doing it, and we're doing it because we love watching people enjoy it.
Right. And that's one reason why we wanted to do it. Give people stories, you know, because I mean, not everybody's, you know, in the magazine. Not everybody's on the USA BMX page, you know. I was lucky enough to make it myself. But, you know, I didn't expect it, you know. So like to bring people like you and Nathan Schaefer and people like that, you know, Mike Gall, that just, I mean, they had their good moments, you know, but to bring them back to life, you know, it's super awesome to us, you know. And to bring life like to Brandon Knoll, you know, to get them guys to be, you know, seen what I would did, you know, what we'd have done when we were younger to be in something like this, you know. Awesome.
Yeah.
So like for me and Nate, you know, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I speak for you, but it's more of a pleasure for us to do this, you know.
Yeah, it's super cool because I only started racing like 10 years ago. I missed like most of these guys' like primes. Like I didn't get to see you racing when you were in your prime. I didn't get to see a lot of people like
seeing him when he was 7 years old. He'd still pull somebody down the last straight like he's doing today. You know? It was awesome.
I remember one of my craziest stories, my BMX stories. You probably remember in Elkhorn, I ended up getting taken over the second corner, and my bike landed in the garbage can.
I do remember that.
Yeah, totally. I went over. Yeah, I went all the way over, and my bike was in the garbage can, and I was like literally right in the front of the like concession stand, like I was ready to order. You know, and I just hopped up, and I'm like right at the window, and they're like, "Oh my God, you all right?" And I'm just like, "I'm good.
I'm good."
Yeah,
track nachos.
Yeah, my bike's in the garbage can. I guess I'm done for the day. You know, yeah, that was one of my craziest stories, man. Like, it was a wild time.
Yeah, I know. Like it's
So,
it's still amazing, but I hear about all these crazy stories, and it's just like, man, I wish I got to be a part
yeah,
of all
I
that
was
kind of
only, I
stuff.
think, probably like 9 years old, 10 years old. Yeah. With that being said, you know, like I know I've got a bunch of stories. I know you got some, but we want to hear yours.
Oh man, there's years of stories, and I got stories on the track, off the track, at the skate park.
Right.
You know, man,
We definitely got to touch into some of that.
Yeah, anything
that skate park
BMX related.
side, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. So, oh geez, off the bat, some of my most memorable experiences. I'm just gonna think of things as they come to me. So Brian Gunyon's gates
Oh my God. Yeah.
started with his pedals like this, slingshotted the gate, and somehow came out 15 bikes ahead of you. I don't know how he did it. I don't know. No one else did it because that was not how you did a gate unless you were G-Force. That's how you did a gate. I want to say it was Midwest 97 or 98. We all know the Mangler. We've all seen the Mangler race for years.
Yep.
I remember seeing the Mangler put Jeremy Cott over berm 2. And then I remember seeing Jeremy Cott catch up to him at the finish line, smack his arm, knock him out from underneath him at the finish line. You know, what crazy story, crazy race that happened.
Yep. I think I remember Mark Melton doing the same thing to George when I was young.
Oh man, it was every weekend. Yeah, it was awesome.
Them two were always battling, and I'm pretty sure Mark went and like bunny hopped into him or something and knocked George over.
Yeah, I mean,
like right at the finish line.
I have a tremendous level of respect for anybody that has done anything as long as George and Bonnie have, or as long as Jake and Candy have, and how much wisdom and experience comes with that naturally. A lot of people don't know George. George has been doing this since he was 5 years old, and they've been here. They've never stopped. They've never been away. A lot of people don't know George has a college degree in sports psychology.
Yeah.
And I think it's like 14 national championships.
Yeah, he was just on.
It was definitely a number of that caliber.
Yeah. But
I know he started in '85.
He has an education. I've always been very intrigued by anybody that has that level of commitment to something.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, Jake and Candy did Walworth alongside of Rockford for decades. I mean, you know, sacrificing your entire summer and your entire winter to drive up to Wisconsin and run a BMX race and have a practice on Wednesday night. And then the week you close, Rockford opens. The level of commitment that took, I feel as if I'm in debt for as long as I'll out in the rest of my life. You know, stuff like this, like creative ideas that we come up with, like making a Rockford jersey, or, you know, Rob Sinks is another one. You know, growing up, riding for the Kegels team, working at the shop, taking over the store, owning the store, running the store, bringing back the team. You know, I've worked at Kegels, another, you know, avenue since I was a kid. I've worked there off and on for years. You know, I remember, like any kid that hasn't learned punctuality or the level of accountability in the workforce yet. Right. I remember, you know, I'd come in late. I'd walk in the door 5 minutes late, and it was just like, oh, I feel like it's the end of the world. Like I let Rob down, and he was one of those people that I looked up to so much that I knew if I did something that disappointed him, it was like even nowadays as a 40-year-old grown man, it's like Robbo's, you know, the poo. Right. Another one of those guys that I'll always look up to, and I'll always, anything he needs, I'll take care of it. Right. You know, it's one of those things. But you know, the Kegels jerseys, bringing those back. We're at a really unique time now where we're grown-ups, and now we can, you know, come up with unique and creative things to bring the next generation up with. You know, so taking the things that you've learned and applying them to current day and new riders and novice riders. And, you know, I've said it before to people that the day the bike shop ever went away, you know, or this ever went away, I feel like part of me died. You know, when the pit closed, that was a big reason why I moved to Tulsa, and I got away, and you know, it was hard to leave, but it was really hard having the pit closed as my life. You know, I foregoed college, you know, to stay working at the pit and doing that every weekend. Right. And you know, that was really hard when that closed. That was your life. You know? it's a good opportunity also to point out that I believe it's 2001 Pro Street. I beat Greg Dixon. So I'd like to point that out. He finished behind me in Pro Street.
You hear that?
That's something good to bring up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, pit days, track days, all of that is kind of put the foundation of who I am.
Right.
New airplane?
Yes.
Like, it's always something.
It's nice to make an appearance here.
Right.
Oh,
But yeah, like back to what you were saying, I'm the feeling that I had going to Elkhorn on the first day to go see what the track looked like. Dude, to say I'm never gonna get that feeling again. Dude, it was like, man, dude, that was like my favorite thing. Like every year, it was like I get to go see what the track's gonna look like, and I'll get inside and be like, that was the part I couldn't wait.
and to think now, all the kids from beginners, all the novice kids, all the new kids, everything that they experience here now, they're going to be sitting in this chair one day at 30 to 40 years old,
Right.
recounting all of these experiences. When I drive over the hill, I come from over by, Green Baptist Upper So when I drive over the hill, the Midwest National Weekend, you come around the corner and you see all those tents, and it's just like, boom, I'm taken back to being 13.
Yeah.
You got every hair stands up, and that'll never go away. You're driving down the interstate and you look over and you see a set of stairs, and it's like a little 9-stair handrail.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, ooh, that'll never go away.
Right. Definitely not.
That kind of stuff is just it's part of who you are. As a BMXer.
I can jump that.
Yeah. BMX is a lot of the new people maybe don't quite identify yet as to how much you learn at an impressionable age from this place. The accountability. It's a lot like trails. You get what you give.
Right.
And a lot like working out here at a young age. When we had back then, berms weren't blacktop; they were dirt.
Yeah.
And if it rained, they run it up, and you had to repack them every single Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
If it rained, that one week it didn't rain, it was like, we just get to ride this
Thank
week.
God.
Awesome. Yep. But getting what you give, putting the work in, that's a really cool lesson to teach the kids nowadays.
Yeah. And when it didn't rain, you had to water it.
Yep. Maybe they're not learning that in school. Maybe they're not learning that at home.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I can see kids lack a lot of.
Yeah.
A lot of things we've gotten easier, like you said.
Yeah. Everything
Berms. You don't have to really maintain tracks now.
Yeah.
Back when we were young, man, boy.
Yeah.
You better pick up a shovel or a spray. You gotta do something, 'cause
Yeah, that was something else I learned in the woods.
Mhm.
And coming out here, even like the skate park. If I want to ride today, I know there's some dudes coming down from Milwaukee. I know there's dudes coming down from Chicago. They're gonna get there right when we close because they knew that if they showed up, I'm not gonna go home in a session till 4 a.m.
Right.
and I'm gonna make them buy pizza, and that's gonna be that.
Right.
But before you ride, go mop all the ramps before we open that day.
Right. Right.
We open at noon. We got a birthday party at 10. So at 8:30, you better get there and mop the ramps because there's going to be a serious session later.
Yeah.
So.
And that's that's just something. I mean, I guess the new generation or whatever you can call it. I don't know if they have that determination or that will to want. I don't know.
Everything's gotten so much easier with the technology that no one goes out and puts in any work anymore.
Yeah, I think being out here and with all the new kids that are maybe foreign to BMX, they've never really done this before. Beginners League, and for the viewers, Beginners League is incredible out here. I mean, we're taking a lot of kids that have never even heard of this place, and letting them, basically like live this cultured community,
right?
And I think the retention from this last one was around 85%. All came to their first race the next day.
Right.
And they all whooped. You went from week one of seeing kids not able to even stand up and pedal yet, or they're so scared of the gate they want to go home.
Right.
You find unique, creative ways to get them to stay, and get them to be patient,
Yeah.
put a little work into it. And by week 6, man, man, this kid's like probably going to win his first race tomorrow. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what happens. You know,
yeah.
it's that's something I've really enjoyed a lot of, and you know, the team out here that does that. You know, Mark being a coach, and Dana and Ash and the Whitbees, and you know, everybody that's been out here helping do that as coaches. It's really cool to see the growth in the riders.
Yeah, and that's what makes a big difference. That's what makes a big difference is people out there like you guys teaching that. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys are like you've been here for a long time. And that's what a lot of people like that we're doing clinics and we're helping people out. They just don't realize that it don't come overnight.
Yeah.
Us, I mean, we can make you a little faster or something. Like same thing with beginners. It's just you got to keep doing it though.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get as good as I am.
Yep.
It didn't come over a month or even a year.
It's a lifetime accumulation.
Yeah, long time.
Yep.
So like that, that just they got to put that in perspective with their kids too. Because a lot of the kids that we train, the parents.
Yeah.
They just want results, which that's what you want, obviously, but
you just download the information.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. With the kids, like you said, you got to put in the work to get it out, So, and a lot of kids do.
And it's not to discount. There's a lot of really amazing parents.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Supportive parents come out here. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids that come out here that they don't have a home life or a connectivity with their parents.
Yeah.
So that's maybe absent, and this is maybe filling that.
Yeah,
maybe.
for sure.
I was one of those. To this day, I don't think my mom's ever seen me ride a bike. And I took that pretty far. In music, I took even further than that.
Right.
Worldwide level. So I don't think. I don't recount her ever being here to see me ride. So that's an important role. I mean, a lot of kids that come out here don't have parents, don't have that support,
right?
And you can tell pretty quick who they are, and that's the ones you buddy up with.
Right.
Go out and ride with them and show them some stuff.
Right. Yeah. So, back in the beginning, I want to hear about what was your first team that you were ever on?
Oh man, Marengo Ace Hardware. So I was on this team. There was two brothers, Jim and Mike Gassell, and I was doing pretty well and winning mains on the weekends. And they'd approach me and ask me to be on the Ace Hardware team, which sounds silly, but Ace Hardware had an awesome team out here. They had a bike shop that was built in the middle of an Ace Hardware, Marengo. Okay. So
that's awesome.
That was another one of those teams where if you were one of the Ace Hardware dudes, like, I was like stoked to be asked to be on that team. So that was my first official sponsor ever. I think I left Ace Hardware to ride for Showsies. I rode for Showsies for a couple years. I think I left Showsies to go to, I believe I rode for Cheyenne after Showsies. That was back with Lance Cross and there was some, another team where if you were on the
awesome.
Cheyenne team, you were.
Yeah, that was an awesome team.
Ryan Zinzo's brother was on Cheyenne. They were a stacked team, so I don't even remember how Jeremy Cott, was on Cheyenne.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how I got on Cheyenne, but rode for Cheyenne until Cheyenne ended, and then I went to Keggles. I think for a minute in there somewhere I was on the JG's tattoo team.
Oh yeah,
I think that was from Whitby. I remember having the JG's jersey. Yeah. Again, I can't remember years. I've lost track of the years.
Right.
From JG's somewhere, Keggles. I was on Keggles for a while, and then somewhere in there I rode for, and I think this had to do with the pit, and Mike Kaiser started the Trek BMX program. Mike designed and basically started Trek Freestyle. So a Trek sponsorship came, and I believe Rockford Bicycle Company was the dealer in the area at the time, so it was a Trek / RBC endorsement. So that I got bikes. No, you never really got paid back then, but you got little freebies here and there. Bikes
right.
You
got the flow of the product.
Yeah. So after that, I think I got flowed stuff from Rick. Rick was such a support for the Midwest back then.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
if you're from Iowa, if you're from the Midwest, we would ordered $500-600 worth of stuff for the Pit Pro Shop. Rick would send a box full of $1,000 worth of stuff with a note that said, "Hook up Dirty Dan, take some stuff, hook up Kai's." He would always send product on top of whatever we purchased for the store. So it was like Rick would, be a wash because he would send, as much product to hook us up with as he did for us to sell in Pro Shop. So I think Standard was the last sponsor, and I still ride a Standard, that I've ever had. I rode a Standard bike for pretty much all those years. Even I think the first Standard I got, I was around 17. I had a Redline Pro line and then a Reynolds. I was like, Reynolds was my favorite riders back then, so I got a Reynolds, which I got back last year. I actually found someone in Wisconsin that had the frame. I had given the frame to a kid named Kip out here. Kip had sold the frame to somebody or given it to somebody, whatever, who gave it to somebody who then contacted me after this off Facebook post that I was looking for my old Reynolds, and it's actually my own old Reynolds.
Wow.
And I know that because it has the same Hoffman stem, same profile seat clamp, and the same scratch in the rear triangle.
That's so hard to find.
Dent in the rear triangle.
Wow.
So crazy. But after the Reynolds, I had a Standard. That was up until a few years ago. I was with Throwdown with Charlie, and Charlie gave me a Throwdown frame to ride, and that frame was awesome.
Yeah.
But aside from that, Standards really the only.
Yeah, I was gonna say, then I don't even have to ask him what his favorite one was then, because it had to be
Standard.
Or it had to be Standard. Your favorite team was Standard then.
It was I used to, towards the end of the racing days, I raced a 125 with 990s.
Yeah.
And I rode it everywhere.
Right.
That was my park bike. That was my race bike. There was a one bike for everything.
That's a good lineup of teams, man. Like Cheyenne, that dude. Like you said, that was a really good team.
And I don't know how I got on any of these teams. I was lucky because they were all pretty high caliber teams with bomb riders in every age group.
That's one thing I didn't realize back then. And same as today. You want to get on a good team. It's not always how good you are on the bike.
Yeah.
It's how you represent them.
Yeah.
They want good representation of their products
and
of their name, So if you can do that well, you go out there and have fun, they're gonna watch you,
Right. It was kind of a running joke a couple years ago because I started acquiring all these jerseys. You grow up and you reflect back on your old jerseys you still have, like, wow, I can't believe I still have this. I found it.
Right.
And then you remember the jerseys you wish you still had.
Yeah.
And I kind of started collecting jerseys. So in the one year I had a Throwdown jersey and a Midwest Militia jersey and a Mangler jersey and a Mudslingers jersey. And I'd wear a different one every weekend. So people like,
Yeah, right.
Oh, I didn't know. I ride for everybody. So
that's awesome.
And now we got the Rockford BMX jersey.
Yeah.
So this is something kind of cool we did recently this summer. Just to have we did the Walworth jerseys up in Elkhorn. And we offered those at a cost rate to all the local riders. So kind of want to do the same thing here and have a factory professional looking jersey available for all the local kids. So you're gonna get kids that just graduated beginners league.
Tell them how do you get this?
Yeah, so you can order these now. Just rockfordbmx.com on the website and place the order there. This is something really cool, and it was an idea that we implemented in Walworth. And we actually sold a lot of those jerseys in Walworth, and we didn't make any money on them. They were just for the rider. But
that's awesome.
Kind of had the idea to do something here, and I'm a huge fan of blot out graphics, and I wanted Rolando to design a jersey, and Rolando swamped. A lot of people don't know that Rolando is just it's him and his wife, and she's hand sewing these jerseys together. Wow. So I'm a huge fan of his design capability. So, he, like everybody else in every industry right now, he was swamped. He's way far behind. We wanted to have him in time for the Nationals. So he actually mentioned, why don't you do the art and I'll just print them and we'll put them together. And, I'm a graphic design artist as well. but I'm also a huge fan of Rolando, so I wanted him to do them. But this was an opportunity. I kind of took a bunch of people's ideas and put them all in a blender, and this is what came out on the other end. Right. So it turned out pretty cool.
So yeah, if you guys want them, go to Rockford BMX.
Yep, rockfordbmx.com. You can order them right off the website.
Yeah.
Riders, ready to watch the game.